Assalamu alaikum. Rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Alhamdulillah. Inshallah, everybody in the best state of Iman, trying to stay focused and growing this deen. And for the ones who are fasting today, may Allah Azza wa Jal accept your fast and bless your future. So, I just had to say this, man. This is, it's an alhamdulillah because Allah Azza wa Jal has exposed a serious matter, right? But it's a sad thing because in the Muslim Ummah, with everything that Islam teaches, and all these knowledgeable people, and everybody know everything and everything, in this day and time, you have a Muslim who was victimized, but has to apologize from a position of being a victim. That's sad, man. And that shows the blackness of some people's heart. The victim has to step up and apologize, right, for being a victim. As a Muslim, there was no justice done for that brother, right? When you have an incident where a brother, for people who know, and this isn't about this is me, I'm about to point out some things, and I'm really addressing people who was coming to my comments from that group. And wallahi, I just was deleting them. I was just deleting the comments. You know what I'm saying? Because it was just showing the blackness of people's heart. This man, yes, he was on the internet and in person speaking about the mistakes that them brothers have. Okay? And things that he didn't agree with. Like a whole lot of other people. You get up out your bed and go to pray Fajr, and then you go sit in the chair to read the Quran, and then a person run up on you and really steal on you, start busting you in the face while you sitting down, then give you the opportunity to stand up and throw your things right along with them. You still on the man. Why you trying to read the Quran, B? But now, because it got out, he the one in the wrong and he had to apologize. You see what I'm saying? And then people, because like I said, I talk to people over there. Why y'all think it ain't no apologies or nothing for them, man? Dude made it, two of them. They made it very clear. It's up. It's up. Now, if I do a video based off of information that I have, because some of the Ashris, they watch my videos, right? I talk to some of them. If I'm sitting down making a video saying, look, quit antagonizing them on the internet. You see what I'm saying? If you a Salafi and you're not on that side, you're not with that particular group, and you making videos and you saying this and that, just leave them alone. That's called Islah, trying to bring a form of peace so that this type of stuff won't happen, because they showing what the lengths that they willing to go. These guys come to my comments and there's something wrong with me trying to bring peace to the situation. Oh man, you don't know. Even with me sitting up saying, y'all making the memes of that brother talking about he didn't fight the other guy, woo out the woo. Y'all can't do that. Y'all can't put that on him. He didn't fight dude either. But that's still wrong. It's because, man, they hearts, and Allahu Alam, but in my opinion, their hearts done became so black, where I'm speaking from a position, not speaking against them, but trying to speak to the people that if you not that particular type of a Muslim, where you willing to fight all in the masjid, where you willing tote poles and had to do all this other type of stuff. If you're not that type of a person, which no Muslim should be that way with another Muslim, leave them alone. But even for them, they can't even see the compassion in that. What y'all want me to do? Tell them to attack y'all back? When they catch y'all by yourself, put knuckles on y'all? That's how backwards we are. That's how backwards we are. To the point where the victim, he didn't even get a fair one. He didn't even get to stand up and defend himself like a man. All because you pointed out their flaws. And you have to apologize. And you have to apologize. But reason why I say I expose a lot of people from that group, they leaving it. I'm sitting up seeing people, man, all over the internet talking about they never going back to Germantown. They never listening to dude no more. And they talking about, it was one sister, man, she put out there talking about, you know, she been waiting for them to say something. It's been 6 days. And they not even issuing an apology. They not doing nothing. Because at the end of the day, whether the dude was sent or whether he did it on his own, another Muslim was done wrong, man. All because he pointed out what he considered to be their flaws. And then the blackness and that jahil that's still in them. And anybody who say, man, that brother was done wrong, just like with me, trying to bring peace to the Salafis that be speaking on them on the internet and in person, and to these Ashris who keep throwing rocks at them every day. One Ashri brother, man, I looked at his video, man, wallahi, man, that brother said every day they have hitters, basically, man, real killers, DMing him every day. They threaten that brother life every day because he speak out against them. He's not trying to harm nobody. He's not trying to do this and that. He's saying, hey, y'all have mistakes. There's some incorrectness in your understandings. There's some incorrectness in your mannerism. Somebody got to die for that? If y'all that upset about it, you must feel like there's some truth to it. Or come to the table like they said. Come to the table and we can debate about it. No, we just going to threaten your life. You mentioned such and such, you mentioned such and such, and them told us this. Your life is in danger if we ever catch you. He talking about it on the internet. So for me to sit down and say, to make a video, which I wasn't even going to talk about it at all. But like what I'm saying, because I am Salafi, but I'm not a part of that group of Salafis, you being biased. When they do something, you don't say nothing, but when the Ashri's throwing rocks, you'll say something. So for me to make a video and say, leave them brothers alone, man, because some of them is not above acting a fool in the internet. In a masjid, man, or anywhere else, and they not above doing worse than that. Some of them just not there yet. And then me showing examples, and see, like some people, I showed examples of both sides. I spoke on examples of both sides. Some people think that they can talk and say things about people and think because we're Muslims, you won't put your hands on me. If we together in the masjid, you're not going to touch me. You see what I'm saying? Because I know Muslims like that. And when they get to that point, they're going to make that, we Muslim, you can't do this. You know the hadith about the sword, two brothers with the sword. Some of these people, and that's what I'm saying, man, don't be thinking that they won't put their hands on you because y'all Muslim. And like I said, this is not nothing new. It just happened to be on video. But to me, that's Allah exposing the situation. You know what I'm saying? Because this is another situation where they done put a bad taste in the mouth of Muslims that was rocking with them. You know what I'm saying? So a person who trying to calm that stuff down and been trying to calm it down for months, but being on here talking without talking, because I know this is the internet and I know, you know, everything is monitored, you know, by alphabet people. You know, just like the brother had evidence when he was at the Imam Muslim Family Center, and he went to the talk, the Stop the Violence talk that Ali Davis and them was having, and may Allah reward them brothers. But when the brother said he had evidence in his phone that they sent that man to attack him, Ali Davis, he didn't shut it down, but he was saying, you know that, but we don't know that. So we're speaking from a position where we don't have that information, and I'm not going to investigate the situation, right? But it was an incident before, and another person had some proof, and Ali Davis basically kind of shut him down, but then he explained. Because I know this is going to be on the internet, and this was stuff back during the night shift time. This is stuff where somebody else might say, you saying you got evidence in your phone. Somebody might go point you out. You have evidence in your phone that they sent that man to do that. Because you either had a message, whatever the evidence is he had in his phone. So Ali Davis shutting it down because they might point you out, man, and when you go outside, who was that in the video saying he had evidence in the phone? Or alphabet people might come pick you up, because one thing that people been saying on the internet, because he attacked that man inside of a masjid, it could turn into a federal offense. And this was somebody who been to the feds, because this is holy ground. This is a religious place. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But people don't know how far that can go for that brother. But a sister had on she had on a post where she's talking about all the stuff that's been swept under the rug. And she mentioned Wally Nelson. For the people who don't know Wally Nelson, that man who was molesting his wife's daughter in the city of Medina while he was a student. And then when they came home, he still kept molesting her, so she went and said something. You see what I'm saying? And they helped that brother escape. You know what I'm saying? Like they came in the Jumar in that masjid while the Jumar was going and snapped, trying to snatch boy up in there. They wanted to whoop him in Germantown Masjid and drag him out till the police came. And they helped him escape. So that was an incident where, you know, sometimes, okay, dude been molesting his wife's daughter from the age of 8 to 15, or from the age of 7 till she was 15. This is public knowledge. And he was a graduate. He graduated from the College of Hadith. So the sister mentioned that, and the way it was swept under the rug. But they was finna beat dude to a pulp in that masjid had they caught him. And then when that class came that Saturday, Hassan Somali tried to do a little bit of explaining. Wallahi, I listened to the class live. She also mentioned the Isa incident. And I'm going to speak on the Abu Isa incident just a little bit. Right? Because he did leave Islam. And wallahi, the brother in the comment, I'm not who said that he left Islam. Wallahi, this isn't towards you, because I know it ain't malicious and things like that. But because he left Islam, when he did leave, they was like, look at Allah humiliating him. You know, basically like Allah punished him by taking his Islam away from him because he was speaking about them. But in reality, you have to know that man's story. That man went to Egypt to get the knowledge. He was a strong student. His wife died while they was in Egypt. Right? They locked him up a couple of times. Where he talking about he in a jail with no food and rats and stuff crawling over him while he sleep. Because he's trying to seek knowledge. Right? Getting the Arabic, sitting with scholars and all type of stuff. He went through a hardship over there. And then when you come here, right? And because a lot of violence and a lot of stuff is going on, they're speaking about it and bringing other students saying, hey, these guys is lying. The scholars didn't say this. The scholars didn't say that. They wasn't studying when we was over here. This is what was going on. This is what was going on. You look at the stories of like with Ismail Beaumont. And they try to jump a brother in the Prophet's masjid, bruh. They was willing to jump the man inside of the Prophet's masjid. Not him, not only just Ismail, not the incident with Ismail Beaumont, but basically he got tired of him and knuckled up one of them. You know what I'm saying? And knuckled up one of them. So him, some other people, man, they try to jump people in the Prophet's masjid, man. This is reality. This is true stories. You see what I'm saying? And one of the same people who was at the head of some of this charge and this and that, and willing to do this and calling people the whole time, you molesting your wife's daughter. Now, he issued out a statement after he got away. Well, I seen the statement. I heard when they read the statement. And he was saying he took it to Allah. He didn't say he wasn't doing it. He wasn't guilty. He just said, man, the situation, they said they had a talk with him. And he issued a statement that they read. He just went to Allah with it. And they talking about there's no need for the taghut to be involved. Okay? And then they helped him get up out of here. And he's been on the run and gone ever since. Only they know where he is. And they will have a fit when people bring up his name. So with Abu Isa, and then y'all speaking about this stuff, and y'all from Philly, and y'all all used to be friends at one point in time, and they talking about how this stuff is going on. Y'all letting these people got us fighting, the Philly people fighting for people who not even from Philly. Right? Then he's detailing it. When I get off work, they be standing outside my job. They surrounded me. They was telling me this, telling me that. But he was like, man, I'm not finna back down. Right? Then when the information come, one of them who he taught how to make salat and other things like that is married to his baby mother, who Abu Isa taught some things in the deen, at least from what Abu Isa was saying out of his own mouth after the guy killed his son, and how he, didn't have a problem with dude marrying his baby mother. Right? So first, because of what Abu Isa was doing, they never could come out and say anything of knowledge to prove themselves. Instead, they put some pictures. Somebody took some pictures of his son sitting on a park bench with another man. So they put out gay accusations and said he was gay. Whether he was, I don't know what was going on. I did see the pictures of him sitting on the bench, but he's passed away. His affair has been decided. So I won't go into too much about his character. But the man comes in the house, and according to them, after he left that masjid, we just gonna say it that way. But from Abu Isa, he had a meeting. They told Abu Isa to quit speaking about a certain person, showing up at his job. We gonna do this, we gonna do that. But I guess because he was strong with the Ummah and had family there, because he was from Philly, people were saying if y'all do something to him, we gonna act up. This is from his own words. So he was trying to keep the peace, but he kept doing the show. So that same brother who he taught some things in the deen, that was married to his baby mother, left from the masjid, and according to Abu Isa, he was in a meeting with certain people over there, and he left from that meeting, came to that house, opened up the door, and went in there and killed that man's son in front of his mother in front of his, I think it was some sisters. I know it was some girls there and I think another boy. Well, they laid in there holding him while he's bleeding and dying to death. This is from his own words. From what his kids and his baby mother told him. Like, was it an argument? Was it anything? No, he just walked up in the house, pulled the gun out on him, and then when the little boy tried to run upstairs, he just started shooting him. Now, like I say, I'm not going to say it was because of the night shift. I'm not going to say that. But Abu Issa felt like that's what it was about. And then shortly after that, the trauma that stuff did to him, he left Islam. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't in his right state of mind. It wasn't like he just left Islam because he was weak. Man, some Muslims that's bogus, in his opinion, because we telling the truth about them. All they got to do is stand up and say, okay, yeah, we study here, we got these credentials. But or they didn't have to do none of that. But instead, they show up at his job surrounding him, threatening to whoop him every night. You know what I'm saying? He even said at one time they showed up around him, and he wasn't really back down while they was talking to him, and one of them showed him his gun. You see what I'm saying? So, I can understand you going through that from some Muslims, threatening your life, pulling guns on you after you done went overseas. Your wife died, you're getting locked up, rats crawling on you, you starving, just to seek knowledge to bring it back to Philly. And then these same Muslims pulling guns and stuff on you because you telling the truth about when y'all was over there. And then one of them come, and then another Muslim come in the house and kill your Muslim son in front of his Muslim mother and Muslim brothers and sisters. I can understand a person not wanting to be Muslim no more after that, man. But they put it out like it was a humiliation and this and that. But when you a person who know under certain things about the deen, once your mind enter a certain level, the pen is lifted from you. And I watched that brother for about 6 months after he left Islam. He had to leave the whole city, man. That man had to leave the whole city. He went to Detroit. And he was talking about that man used to get on live at night and be crying, man. I used to watch that man break down bad, man, talking about what they did to his son, man, from his opinion. You know what I'm saying? Let some Muslims kill your son and you about that life. What you gonna want to do? You know what I'm saying? People can't, until they in them shoes, don't nobody know what they would do. I'm not even gonna say what I would at least feel like doing. And then you have to suppress that. You have to deal with that every night. But as he would be crying, I was watching his mind alter. You could see him starting to become a different person. After he left Islam because of this situation, he's saying why he denouncing Islam. I don't want to be a part of anything where these people threatening my life and they doing this and that and they causing all this fitna in the city and they killed my son. I don't want to be a part of that. It wasn't because he was weak and Islam too tough, I don't want to pray. My wife left me, and some of these reasons why other people don't want to be Muslim no more. A Muslim killed that man's son. And whether it was a meeting, whether whatever went on, after he left that masjid, he came in the house and killed that man's son, man. And when he went and started saying he was a original Indian. And he married this Indian girl, and I watched him for about 6 months. I would watch his videos for about 6 months. His mind was different. And I look at it like this. I can't say for sure, but only Allah knows best. Dude could be in a state where he's mentally not really there, although he's functioning like some people with mental issues. What if Allah lifted the pen from that brother and might still bless him with Jannah, and then put the humiliation on the day of judgment on the people who killed his son. And then add to it, because Allah, this broke this man mentally where his mind was no longer right. What if Allah lifted the pen from that brother as a mercy and he still get Jannah? But they make like it's a humiliation, but they don't say nothing about the people who left Islam because of the stuff that they had to deal with them that was in that masjid. It was a brother every day. I don't know his name, but he used to get on YouTube every day. This was probably about 6 years ago, talking about why he was leaving Islam and the behavior of them brothers in that masjid and the stuff that was going on. Now a lot of people are sitting up talking about on the internet why they leaving, and they tired of hiding all the abuse that the women getting beat, the diseases that they passing around, all this other stuff. But they not even leaving Islam. This was just a straw that broke the camel's back. And everybody starting to post everything about what they know, what they experienced, dealing with them people, and they swept it under the rug. Fahim Leh. You know, I hate to say the brother name. They be watching my video. I ain't going to say they watch all of them, but sometimes there's something going on. They'll tune in to hear what I'm going to say. He used to be one of the Germantown guys. Now he one of the top guys from the Asheries. He imam over there. You know, they consider him to be a knowledgeable person and everything. Them Asheries love him. He one of the imams on the Black Imams Round Table. He used to be a Germantown guy. And he switched up and became Ashery due to the stuff that he know. And I'm going to put it this way. Because he know his story. But he, to my understanding, he was even willing to be security. Okay? He was one of them guys that if somebody needed to be whooped for speaking on him, he would be there to whoop some. Or even more. From some of the things that I've heard. But I'm going to leave it at that. But he's also one. But is that a humiliation to y'all, like how y'all try to put on Abu Isa? It's plenty of people who dealt in that masjid and left Islam because of dealings with them. But see, they're not going to speak about that. You see what I'm saying? I understand why that man didn't want to have nothing to do with no Muslims no more. A Muslim man who he fed, taught how to pray, helped him get his prayer together, helped him memorize Quran, approved the marriage to his baby mother to be around his family. They didn't even have no problems. And you just leave that masjid and come up in the house and kill his son in front of his mother? And brothers and sisters? For what? Killed them for what? You see? And I'll say this, and this real talk. Like Fahim Leh, he don't know me. I don't even know, but I know he'll remember this situation. So this is around the time that when I first started going to Philly with some of the people I was with, and we was in. I know they said we was going to Camden, but I know it's like another little city right next to Camden, so I'm not sure if we was in Camden or whatever that city was, but we was outside, and Fahim Leh was walking down the street, and one of the brothers who he was real cool with when he was at Germantown said, man, Ahmed, where you been? Like, I ain't seen you. But they heard Fahim Leh had jumped ship and started dealing with the Asheries. And that brother told Fahim Leh, and it was funny to me because this was my first time hearing somebody use this hadith. He said, brother, your Islam left you. He said, brother, your Islam left you faster than a bow and arrow, faster than an arrow going through its prey where no hair or blood is left on it. And I remember kind of laughing, you know, and Fahim Leh, you know, he didn't go into a lot of details, but, you know, he had a little discussion, you know, about why he, you know, stopped dealing with Germantown and that Salafi stuff. It wasn't for him, basically. You know what I'm saying? What about, I know some sisters who left Germantown and married some of them Ashby brothers. But due to the treatment and the behavior that was going on with them over there. So it's just unfortunate, man. You know, like I say, and even with them coming to my comments, because I'm sitting down saying, hey, man, y'all leave them guys alone, man. Y'all leave them alone. And I'm not saying this is everybody over there. Y'all leave them alone, man. Quit trolling them on the internet because it's not helping. Y'all not helping the case. Y'all sitting up saying y'all want peace with the Salafi dudes, but every day you get on the internet and throw rocks at them. Purify your intentions. Even the Salafi guys from that side, they got a problem. See what I'm saying? I don't know what I'm talking about. Oh, you shouldn't say this. You don't say that. Did you have first-hand information? What I'm sitting up saying, I talked to some people from over there that I'm cool with, and they know that they know what I'm talking about. They know who I am. They told me, man, what was to it, and possibly a continuation. But to me, Allah exposed the whole situation, because at the end of the day, and for the brother who got in the comments sitting up talking about there's no two sides of Salafiyah, I'm gonna put it this way right here. You have people who consider themselves to be Salafi, and then people from that group say, no, they not Salafi. They masjid not Salafi. You can't pray at their masjid. You can't listen to them talk. I'll probably become one of them. They'll see, brother, you ain't Salafi. Who is you to determine that? That's up to Allah, right? Allah the judge of that, right? What hukum can you place on me to say that I'm not Salafi other than I don't go to y'all masjid? I don't listen to who you listen to. That's not a condition of Salafiyah. So with these standards and this put in place, there is two sides, unfortunately. Or like how I sit up and say it, it's Salafiyah, but you have a particular group of Salafis that do their own thing. I'm not part of that group. I'm not part of that group. So it is two different, not Salafiyah as a whole, because I ain't saying Salafiyah, I'm saying Salafis, which is the people. But sometimes, man, they listen with their emotions and they just angry because they feel like somebody is speaking about an injustice that they really did and got caught on video. Everybody's seen it, man. It ain't no denying what happened to that brother in there. Now, if y'all want to deny whether he was sent to do it or not, cool. Because like I said in the video, we'll leave that part up to people's imagination. I'm not going to say he was sent. But he definitely did what he did. He should be held accountable. People more mad at the person who got whooped than they are at the person who did the whooping. People don't have no problem with the man sitting up saying in the masjid, if nothing else, we seen after that man got whooped by a person who was talking to Anwar. After he looked around to make sure he went over there and have a lengthy conversation with him, we definitely seen Anwar on video saying, when the man tried to come to him, asking him, Anwar, did you have him do that? Anwar didn't say, no, I ain't had nothing to do with it. Anwar said, I hope Allah gave you what you deserved. I hope Allah give you what you deserve. What if he deserved justice, brother? What if he deserved justice? If Allah bless him with that justice, look at all the stuff. Man, people who loved Anwar that was crazy about him, now they talking about all type of stuff on that video. I mean, they done turned on him. People who, and they bringing up all this other stuff that done went on. Even Abu Isa. Even Abdul Wali Nelson. Did nobody put knuckles on Wali Nelson for molesting and raping his wife's daughter in the city of Medina while he was a student in the College of Hadith? Where was his whooping at? Where was his knuckles? But I ain't gonna do that, man, because this ain't about this. You know, it's Dhul Hijjah. You know, alhamdulillah, I'm fasting, man. But I just had to say, man, it's just a sad day in this day and time that the Muslim who was victimized didn't even get a chance to stand up and be like this. Just stole on while he's reading the Quran. Man, are our hearts so black? Is we that fanatic on personalities that we can't see that was wrong? All because he said something about them that he felt was true. He pointed out their mistakes. Man, that's a sad day, especially during the best 10 days of the year. Dhul Hijjah. Come on, man. Anybody with eyes, and it's just unfortunate. Like how I say, when it comes to them, even and I gotta close on this Shadid Muhammad thing, because this is about justice. This is about Islam, and I'm gonna say it again for y'all individuals that hear this video, whether you Ash'ari or whether you a Salafi that they don't accept. If you're gonna be making videos, throwing rocks at them brothers, thinking that you're gonna get them to change, you're not gonna be successful. And if you're not prepared, if you're in the area where you're around them, and they have people who just blindfold them in different cities in your city, if you're not prepared for them to run up on you in any way, shape, or form, knuckles or other than that, leave them alone, man. Leave them alone. What's wrong with that? Y'all heart so black that y'all see a problem with that type of advice being put out? Y'all want to bring that same anger and aggression to me because I know what that brother did was wrong, whether he was sent or not. This man got stolen on and beat up while he trying to read the Quran in the masjid, brother. Didn't even get it. The man didn't even have, like I said, he didn't even have a chance to stand up and go toe to toe and shoot a fair one. In the house of Allah. And then another person, a personality, the face, one of the faces of that movement, tells the person who got stolen on and beat up that he hope Allah gave him what he deserved. Come on, man. Come on, man. So even with that right there, while he asked me, did you tell him to do that to me? He's not going to say nothing, like he's not going to say yeah on camera. You recording him. But your actions saying, I hope Allah gave you what you deserve, you definitely approved of it. You didn't find no fault in the brother who attacked him. And that's evident. That's evident. If we're going to talk about, you can judge by what's apparent. We see what the brother said, man. So people had a right to be upset with him if they want to. Y'all can't bully people into the point where they can't say, hey man, we upset. We didn't like how he handled that. They had a right to not do that. If they want to speak about it, they had a right to speak about it. But you know, but they feel like, man, because of this mentality and the people who they got with them, they think they can just drop. I mean, you can't, you don't know, you can't say nothing. Okay, justify what he said at the end when he said, man, we hope Allah gave you what you deserve. Justify that. He watched it. He seen what happened. And that was his response. Allah gave you what you deserve. As the face, that wasn't wrong. Come on, man. Y'all can't put the blindfold on everybody. Getting whooped at the Fajr while reading the Quran by another Muslim for an offense that doesn't even call for knuckles. Oh, you know, then they gonna say, oh, you don't know what type of conversation was had behind closed door. Is your heart that black? Regardless of what happened behind closed doors, that was still a very wrong. That don't change the fact that he said, may Allah, hopefully Allah gave you what you deserved. Or I hope Allah give you what you deserve. That don't change that. But anyway, man, let me get off of here, man. And y'all have a problem with me advising them people? Quit getting on the internet talking about them, man, because they not above doing anything to you. Whether you a Salafi that they don't accept, a Salafi, because we seen it all the time. Salafis that was with them, and then once these Salafis didn't agree with them, they so-called kicked them off the minhaj. Dawood Adib. He's no longer Salafi to them no more. Y'all can't decide that. And he was one of the main catalysts that got that name and that call for Salafiyah out there when he had Germantown Masjid. He brought a lot of people to the Deen of Salafiyah. Now he's not Salafi no more to them. And with the Shadid Muhammad incident, let me close out on this. And I'm going to promote the brother page. It's called Pure Islam YouTube channel. One of the brothers from Salafi Inc. All of them brothers got together once Germantown and that side, all the splits happened with Mukbil and all that, and they stopped dealing with Salafi Inc. Abu Yusuf Khalifa, just go on there and find a video where all of them did about an hour-long video, maybe a little over an hour video, apologizing to Shadid Muhammad, saying that they lied on him, that the scholars never said that, and they just swept it under the rug, and all the slanders, just like one of the same people, one of the slanders when I was around, they was slandering. I'm gonna call it a slander at this point. They was talking about Shadid Muhammad because they caught him at the movies, according to them. Daki. So they came out and lied. They had all the conversations. They said they saying it, and because this was their way of trying to make public tawbah, sincere repentance, apologizing to Shadid Muhammad. So they was trying to say. And I remember when they used to have like the Salafi talks and all that, this little website where you could chat in, and they were saying, I seen it with my own eyes, man. Back in the day, that they seen him at the movies with his wife. And they had in their daughters. And then it blew my mind to realize, after listening to Shadid Muhammad at that time, he only had sons. He didn't even have a daughter. He didn't even have a daughter. Okay? But they said he was at the movies after Maghrib late at night with his wife and daughters. And he shouldn't have had them out there and this and that. And this is what made him not fit for knowledge and all this and that. But then one of the same catalysts for this call, you had not Applebee's in the middle of the night. And for people who remember when that incident actually happened, it was after a conference. So this was late night. That's why it wasn't that many people in Applebee's. All this people going in is the food halal at Applebee's? But you can be at Applebee's in the middle of the night with your family, with your wife, but Shadid Muhammad can't be at the movies? See, it's too much selective politicking. If Shadid Muhammad was this and that for going to the movies with his wife, then the same thing need to be said for the person who had Applebee's, where they sell alcohol. Is the food even halal in there? Because had it been somebody else that, you can't eat that food there. And this was after a conference where they had food vendors and stuff outside. And then y'all slid up to the next little city over. I'm not speaking ill of him. Maybe and I'm not saying this to say anything bad about him. All I'm saying is, why the same hukum didn't apply for him that applied for Shadid Muhammad for allegedly being at the movie with his wife and daughters when he didn't even have daughters at that time. And to this day, all them brothers came out and told the truth that they was lying. And about what went on and what led to it, this and that. Till this day, people still keep Shadid Muhammad name in their mouth. And Allah done elevated that man in the ranks and gave him his own masjid after all that he had to deal with them. That man was talking about going to the store and people was threatening his life, bruh. I even seen him saying talks discussing things about getting a masjid or going and do talks, I seen that man with conviction in his mouth, in his eyes, saying, man, sometimes I don't want to go do this talk, or, you know, if I had this masjid, in my mind, in my heart, I just know it, that one of them ignorant Muslims gonna come kill me, man. And he was making dua, you know, Allah, please don't let me die by the hands of some old ignorant Muslims, man. Threatening this man's life for what? What did Shadeed Muhammad do that he need to be beat up, threatened, and killed for? Is your hearts that black? Anyway, man, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Anything I said that was incorrect came from myself and the shaitan. Anything I said that was correct came from Allah Azza wa Jalla al-Muqtadir. And just like how they would say, if something came out about some people, that was Allah humiliating them. People leaving y'all alone now. People eyes starting to open up now, and they tired of making their excuses. Maybe this is a humiliation, man. A situation at least worthy of a conversation has been exposed amongst the Muslim Ummah. And not only just this one, the shooting at the East, the shooting up the janazas, the shootings here, the shooting there, this one killed, the fight at the janazas, all this stuff. These mans just splitting. Why all this fitna is always attached to one of y'all? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.